Curfew imposed island-wide from 6 p.m. today to 6 a.m. on Monday. Number of patients tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka rises to 65. A special circular on court cases issued. Subject Minister requests all provincial council representatives to act in a responsible manner. Italy deaths rise to 3,405. Cases up to 41,000. Hello there and welcome to today's edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. You're joining me, Debbie Paldano. Now, taking a look at your local developing stories, the confirmed COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka has risen to 65. The Minister of Health said a total number of 218 people are under medical observation. Issuing a situation report in partnership with the Johns Hopkins University, the epidemiologist said that all the confirmed cases of COVID-19 are currently receiving treatment at the IDH. Now, taking a look at the local arena, island-wide curfew has been declared from 6 p.m. today. Issuing a press release, the President's Media Division, in fact, said the curfew will remain in effect until 6 a.m. on Monday, the 23rd of March. Now, meanwhile, the police curfew imposed for Chilau, Puttalam, Negombo, Wattala and Jayala have been temporarily lifted at 9 a.m. today. The Police Media Division said the police curfew will be reimposed at 12 noon today until further notice. Now, keeping up with more local news, people were seen rushing to purchase food items with government's decision to impose an island-wide curfew from 6 p.m. today. Now, queues were also seen at petrol stations where people were pumping fuel to their vehicles. Let's now take a look at a few views expressed by the Minister of Public Administration, Janaka Pandarathanakorn. We expect everyone to extend their fullest support to curb the spread of the virus. I urge all provincial heads to understand the current situation in the country and to act wisely and responsibly at this point. You must remember, evading from carrying out your duties is a crime. The government will not hesitate to punish those who act in violation of specified instructions. Now, in the judicial arena, the Judicial Service Commission has issued a special circular with several guidelines on how judicial activities will take place from today until the 27th of this month.
The special circular had been issued in order to combat the spread of coronavirus in Sri Lanka. The special circular will provide guidelines to commercial high courts, civil courts of appeal, district courts, magistrates courts and labour tribunal courts. The President's Media Division noted it had been decided by the Judicial Services Commission to not call up any case in open court unless the judge deems hearing the case as urgent and essential. The statement further notes that the process of applying for bail will be done in a regular manner. Further, the Judicial Service Commission also states if a lawyer requests for a case to be called up urgently, motions in that regard, which are submitted before 10 a.m., would only be considered. Extending the remand periods of detainees who are currently in remand custody would be done using video calling technology without calling them to court. The circular issued by the Judicial Service Commission also notes provisions regarding police bailouts must be utilized to the fullest extent, and it is the task of magistrates to maintain proper coordination with the police department of a particular area.
Now, a program to distribute face masks and disinfectant products to private buses and conductors will be held today at the bus station in Bastion Avenue, Colombo. Now the event will take place under the auspices of Minister Mahinda Amravira. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Power and Energy and Transport Management said a program with the support of the Sri Lanka Navy will commence today to disinfect private bus stations in Colombo, bus stands located in Fort and Mardana, and the CTB bus stations. The program has been organized by the National Transport Commission. Now in your stock market update, the Colombo stock market's most liquid share index S&P SL20 plunged nearly 12%, recording its biggest intraday fall, while the benchmark all share index fell over 6% due to panic selling of the risky assets following the government imposed curfew over the weekend. Now trading at the stock market closed at 12 noon, an hour before the scheduled. The boss said the move to facilitate its employees to return home before the curfew. Now before the market closed, its trading halted for the fifth day after the most liquid S&P SL20 index fell below 5%. The index ended 11.90% weaker at 1,943.55 points, while the benchmark all-share price index fell 6.22% to 4,571.63 points. Turnover was at 420.8 million rupees. Dealers said the bond markets were inactive and that trading in Sri Lanka's forex markets were also thin. Now in your weather update, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in Galle and Madra districts after 2 p.m. Now the Department of Meteorology and thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning are likely to occur at several places, particularly in western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Galle, Madra, Kandy and Nuwara districts in the evening or night. Temporary strong gusty winds, in fact, up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour is also possible during these thunder showers. Now, while the coronavirus situation develops in Sri Lanka, let's now take a look at the international arena, where the death toll from the outbreak of the coronavirus in Italy rose by 427 to 3,405 in the last 24 hours, overtaking the total number of deaths so far that was registered in China, as the tally worldwide hits 10,000.
Yesterday's figure in Italy represented a slight improvement on the day before, when the country recorded 475 deaths from COVID-19, while the world has stepped up efforts against the coronavirus pandemic by closing schools, shutting down cities and imposing strict border controls. The total number of infections in Italy has also risen to more than 41,000, while cases in Germany, Iran and Spain rose to more than 15,000 each. Cases in the US also surged past 13,000, while the number of deaths hit 200, forcing the state of California to order a statewide lockdown. According to data collected, more than 240,000 people have now been confirmed with the coronavirus globally, of which at least 85,000 have recovered from COVID-19, while more than 9,800 have died. Saudi Arabia is suspending all domestic flights. Buses, taxis and trains are also being stopped for 2 weeks. Foreign media reported the new measures will come into effect on Saturday morning. The suspension does not apply to essential flights relating to humanitarian and medical aircraft or buses used to transport people for health reasons. More than 270 infections have been confirmed in the kingdom, but no deaths. New South Wales officials say 3 people on board a cruise ship that docked in Sydney Harbour have tested positive for the virus. The Ruby Princess ship visited New Zealand before returning to Sydney. It had 3,800 people on board, including around 1,000 crew. Urgent efforts are now being made to contact the more than 2,700 passengers who disembarked at Circular Quay in Sydney's city centre. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asking all citizens to stay home to avoid the spread of the coronavirus. India's massive public transit system also severely curtailing services. Public transport remains the main mode of travel for a majority of the country's citizens. In the northern state of Punjab, all public transport has been suspended with immediate effect. Haiti just had its first 2 cases. The country is already suffering from widespread poverty, and the poor healthcare system would likely be unable to handle a widespread outbreak of the virus. Haiti was one of the last Caribbean nations to remain coronavirus-free and had already stopped flights from many international destinations earlier this week in a bid to prevent the disease's entry. The country declared a state of emergency, closing borders and imposing a curfew.
Now shifting our attention from the coronavirus epidemic to a situation in India. 4 Indian men convicted of the gang rape and murder of a student in Delhi in 2012 have been hung.
Akshay Thakur, Vinay Sharma, Pawan Gupta and Mukesh Singh were sentenced to death by a trial court in 2013. The 4 were hanged in the capital's high-security Tihar prison in the first executions in India since 2015. The victim died from her injuries days after being raped by 6 men on a moving bus. The incident caused outrage and led to new anti-rape laws in India. The 23-year-old physiotherapy student was dubbed Nirbhaya, the fearless one, by the press as she could not be named under Indian law. 6 people were arrested for the attack. One of them, Ram Singh, was found dead in jail in March 2013, having apparently taken his own life. Another, who was 17 at the time of the attack, was released in 2015 after serving 3 years in a reform facility, the maximum term possible for a juvenile in India.
Well, that is a wrap of lunchtime news here on TV1. For more information, log on to our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk. Stay tuned with News First as we bring you the very latest. For the News First team, I'm David Paldano. Take care.